Hey, how's it going? It's Charlie here, back for part two, which is actually like part 4 or 5 of this series of putting this fairing on my 2023 FatBoy. I started off by putting a set of pullback risers on here. When I went to put the fairing on, they hit and they were spaced back way too far. I couldn't get the top mount of the fairing on. Took the fairing off. I got a set of the Harley Davidson risers that Wide Open Custom told me to get. I put them on there in the last video that I made. I put the fairing back on where it was at the end of the installation video, part 1 that I made. And it still seems to be hitting, but I don't have the top mounts on. So I'm gonna pop this off of here. I'm gonna put the top mounts in. I'm going to take these bottom mounts back out and throw some Loctite on there, put them back in. And then we're going to see if maybe that top mount will space it out a little bit. Because right now, as of now, it's hitting the risers still. Just not as bad as they were before. And it's within range of the mount on the top here. So I'm going to put that top mount in and see if that'll take up the slack. But it's hitting right on the riser again, right at the bottom of the radio like it was with the old one. But we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm gonna pop this off and I'm gonna start taking everything out and putting Loctite on there. Now this doesn't come off easy, I'll tell you that. There we go. Now, as I had stated previously on another video, I did try to make a wiring video. However, when I went to try and post it, I did something and it erased it, so I don't have it. I used the wiring kit that I bought from Harley Davidson. It plugged right in. It has 2 of those Deutsch connectors if you want to add like heated grips or anything else on there through a factory wiring setup. And then it also had a set of 3 just wires coming out of it with no connector on them. That was a hot, a ground, and an accessory. When I hooked the wiring up for this, I ran the hot and the ground directly to the battery, and all I used out of those 3 wires that was coming out of the wiring harness was the accessory. So I had that all plugged in. I had the radio on. It all works great. Figured out that you have to use the USB in order to use the CarPlay or Android. If you have an Android, you probably have to plug that in too. It does have wireless Bluetooth, but it doesn't have where you can use your Google Maps or any of that stuff. So in order to use the Google CarPlay on that stereo, you have to use the USB. So, but that's that. All right, let me grab some tools here and we're gonna start taking this apart. Let me move this over a little bit. All right. If I remember correctly, these were 3/16. Yep. I'm gonna pop these out and throw some Loctite on them, pop them back in. If you remember from part 1, I got this hardware from Lowe's. These are just 1/4-20 stainless screws. And I bought some 1/4-inch stainless washers to go with the Drag Specialties grommet. This is a windshield grommet from Drag Specialties. So let me grab my Loctite out of the toolbox. I'm just going to use the blue. I'm just going to use the blue Loctite. You don't want to use red. You just want to keep it from vibrating out with the blue. So just put a little drop on here. I'm going to thread these back in. That should be good. You don't need to put a whole lot on there. I'm gonna throw this back in. Making it tight, but I'm not going to tighten it to the point where it starts crushing this piece of stainless here. Let me pop this one out and do the same. I'm going to throw a little stainless, a little Loctite on this one too. Like I said, I'm just going to snug that enough so that it is tight, but not so tight that it crushes the stainless. Now, if I remember correctly, these are actually Torx. And I think they are 20s, if I remember correctly. Oh. Looks like a T25. That's a T25. And I need the adapter for that. And when I did that wiring, I just ran it up underneath the gas tank tunnel. And then I have it coming out right here. I don't know if you can see that. And what it is looks like a battery tender plug here, which is your positive and negative going to the battery. And then you have this one little round plug here that is going to the accessory. That wire I told you about on that harness. Now these upper bolts had to be a little bit longer, so I went with I just realized I put one that's too long on here. They were like 1.25 inches, something like that. The other ones were 1 inch. These are 1.25 inches. And then I had to get these nylon spacers here, which are part number, from Lowe's, they are part number, well, I think I stretched that out a little too much. Well, they are 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch nylon spacers. And it says 1/2 inch by 0.194 by 1/4 inch nylon spacers. Problem with them is they're white plastic, white nylon. So what I did was, you can see that it's white there. I got some black heat shrink for wiring, put it over there and shrunk it on there just to make it black. I didn't want to try and paint it or anything with it being nylon, but I put the wrong size bolt in this one. It should be like that. So you don't want it too long. Actually, let's see if that will even thread in there. Yeah, you want the shorter one. So I have them over here. I just have to swap that out before I do the other one. All right, so we're gonna put a little Loctite on this one. Like I said, you don't need a whole lot of it on there, just a little drop will do. Oops, I got it on my finger there. This stuff kind of gets everywhere too. Not as bad as Never Sees, but pretty bad nonetheless. Something's going on there. Let me wipe this Loctite off my finger. See if I can get this to thread in there. That seems to be going in there crooked. Gotta watch out because this stainless actually moves. That doesn't seem to be going in there. There it goes. That does not look like it's going in there straight. There it goes. Pop this other one out. I gotta swap this screw out for the shorter one. I messed up and put the longer one in there. I had to drill out the nylon spacer a little bit with a 1/4-inch drill just to give it a little room. And here you can see that it was white and I put that black shrink tubing on there. Does a good job, that way you can change the color of it. Put the shorter screw in there. The nylon spacer on there. And I'm hoping this works because I really would like to keep this fairing on there. Another problem I ran into just by eyeing it up, I'm not sure if it's going to be an actual problem. I also mounted the windshield and the windshield trim on the fairing here. But I did buy this Hogworks. It's got the turn signals and running lights in the windshield trim. Just when I put it up to the mounting screws on there, it looks like these screws don't line up. The center one, of course, does, but it doesn't look like these line up with what's on there. So I'm going to do some measuring, and if I can, I might drill new holes into the fairing to put these in there. I'm going to check the windshield to make sure that the windshield lines up with these and has, you know, those adjustable holes are big enough to go here, because I don't want to drill through that. I mean, if I have to, I guess I will. But I'd really like to put this on there because the fairing actually covers the stock turn signals. I think I may be able to get away with lowering these a little bit, and I think they'll clear the bottom of the fairing where you'll be able to see them, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So that's just another project that I'm going to have to work on. All right, so I got that through here. I'm going to throw some Loctite on this one. I'll start throwing this in. I don't know what it is. These things don't feel like they're going in as smooth as the bottom ones did. Tools are away. I guess we can try. Let me put this Loctite away. Oh, I'm leaking. This away. I'll tell you what, I just bought this set up here. This it's the 56-inch US General toolbox with a side locker and a side cabinet over there. It's a nice box for the money, and they just had the Christmas specials going on, so I got it dirt cheap. Then I also have my US General roll-around tool cart where I have my everyday use stuff in there. But let's try and put this back on, see what happens. Lining these up is fairly easy, and it bends fairly easy. And then this wire here, you want to make sure that's up. All right, I don't know if I got these spaced out enough. This one lines up. Yeah, I might have to put bigger spacers on here, which I could space out with washers. Because I have more washers there, so. All right, that's still not fitting. Let's see how much we got to go here. It looks like, honestly, it's not that far off at all. It looks like if I put another washer in there, it will space it out just right. The bracket, the mounting bracket is beveled like this. It's tighter at the bottom than it is at the top. So I did put that spacer in there, but it looks like that spacer is just not enough. So I will pop this off again, and I'll pop them back out before that Loctite sets, and I will put more spacers in there. I also have these rubber washers, which I may use those. I may put them in. That might give me what I need. Might have to put a little more Loctite on these once I take these nylon washers or nylon spacers off it. With that spacer, I might have to use the longer bolts. Yeah, it looks like it. Let me clean this Loctite off of here. So it is a good thing that I bought these longer screws, because now I have to space it out more, but it's only a little bit longer. You can see the difference there. And I think before I put Loctite on these, I'm going to test it out and see what we got. And I just use these rubber washers on there to make it space out. Hopefully that'll be enough. Let me take this other one out here. We're going to do the same thing here. We'll take this all apart, get the longer bolt. Get the Loctite off of this one so I can put it back in stock, you know what I mean. All right, longer bolt. rubber washer, and then the stainless washer, and the nylon spacer. This one back in. All right, let's try this again. See how it goes. That looks like it's right on the money there. Just gotta push it down. Let's see. I need a light so I can see in there. This thing is so bright. All right, looks like that spaced it out perfect. Yeah, we don't have any binding. It's right in the slot. So I think we're right on the money there. I just got to push that down. This is the hard part. Getting it seated down on there, you gotta manhandle it to get it to go down. There's one. Doesn't seem to be going down all the way on there, and it is hitting a little bit on there. I mean, it's on there. It's not hitting. It is hitting my USB though. I think that might be stopping that from going down. Well, it's not tight. It looks like it's down all the way. Looks like it's on there. There's a little bit of a space. But the bottom mount is all the way down. I think it is hitting a little bit right there. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's still hitting the riser. But it's on there. It seems like if they would have spaced the brackets out about another ½ inch, it would have cleared all this, no problem. As you can see, the turn signals are about to hit the speaker there on both sides here. In all honesty, I'm good with this. There's a little slot that goes behind the where the top bracket hooks into the top bolts here. I'm wondering if that's so you could put some safety wire or something in there just to keep it down, you know, to make sure it doesn't vibrate up or anything. That's my guess as to what that is. Like I told you in the first video, there's really no instructions with this bike at all, with this bearing at all. So I had to kind of wing it and just figure it out. I did call them a few times and ask them questions. When I did call them, that's when they did tell me I had to buy the Harley Davidson risers to make it fit instead of the risers that I had bought previously. But even with these Harley Davidson ones, the cubby hole that was underneath, I took that off to try and fit the last set of risers. And even with these risers, that doesn't fit back on there. So a little bit of a design flaw with that. I don't know if they run into that problem. I'm gonna have to call them again this week and just run through them, run through what I had to go through with this to see what they say. For the price point, it should fit right on there, no problem. Honestly, I got like $2,600 wrapped up into this, not counting the risers. So it should have just dropped right on with no issues. I don't know, it's on there. I'm gonna plug this wiring in and I'll just give you a quick rundown of it. This wiring is a little bit tight. If I put a little dielectric grease on here, it would probably go in a little easier. And then I can show you. You can turn the bike on. And here comes the radio. Oh, it's already on the radio here. Let me turn that down so I don't get copyrighted. But yeah, that's it. It works pretty good. I think something happened where it connected to my phone. Let's see. Go home here. Go BT audio. Yep, and that's my buddy's band. Came up straight on the Bluetooth. That's not through CarPlay or anything like that. But yeah, I'll do another video walking through the stereo and how that all works and stuff like that. I'm gonna throw my phone mount on the handlebars because I do have this USB hanging out right here so I can plug my phone in to use the Apple CarPlay. But like I said, other than the ease of installation and the price point, this thing's awesome. I love it. I didn't love the price and there was no ease of installation. But it looks great. The stereo sounds good. I don't know what else to say about it. I'll shut this off and stop this video for now. Oh, there goes the alarm. And then I'll do a walkthrough with the radio and the stereo system to show you how that all works. And after that, I might do like a complete walk around of the bike just to show some things that I've done to it since I've had it. Just minor little things I've done to it, nothing crazy. But that'll do it for now. Until next time, talk to you later. Please like and subscribe. Take care.